What's up, everybody, and welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you tune in to all the live streams today and in the future. We're going to be around the clock trying to give you as much Dolphin coverage as we possibly can. Make sure you check out DolphinsTalk.com, who we partner with. They post a lot of our videos on their site. They're an amazing site to get different perspectives about what's going on, everything Miami Dolphins, guys. Without further ado, I want to tell everyone who's tuned into this live stream that was tuned into the last one, I lied, not intentionally. It's just that it'll better flow this way. Instead of doing the practice yesterday, I'll do that next. I want to talk about why Brain Flores isn't happy, especially after what the team did in front of owner Stephen Ross yesterday. All right, so Stephen Ross basically made a guest appearance. He came to practice. Basically, obviously, he was going to show up to the Miami Dolphins stadium for the real scrimmage, probably in a press box. No one would have known he was there. But since they canceled that due to weather, they had to move it to the practice facility in the bubble. So it was easier for everyone to know that Ross was there because in the bubble, there's no press box. There's no suites and all of that type of stuff. So he was in attendance and he wanted to see what his investment had actually garnered so far. What am I getting out of my investment so far? So Stephen Ross got to sit back, take a look at what the team looks like and how they're coming along. Now, guys, there were some good things and there were some bad things. We'll talk about that in the next video when we talk about training camp. But Flores could not have been happy about what happened yesterday. A lot of the big plays that happened were negated for something that shouldn't be happening. I know it's early, but let's talk about Brain Flores, okay? Brain Flores is instilling something in this organization that he expects these players to grab a hold to and execute and make changes due to it. What is that? TNT. Takes no talent to not make the mental errors. It takes no talent to not have false starts. It takes no talent to miss the snap. It takes no talent to do so many things in the game of football. And if you can handle the things that takes no talent, you'll be a successful winning team. He said that recently in a presser as well. So what did he get out of his team on the first live scrimmage where he made it feel like a game where the coaches had their headsets on? They were down on the field, executing plays, switching in and out packages. What did he do? He witnessed a lack of discipline that he does not stand for, that he did not appreciate, nor did he recognize as what he's trying to accomplish and get through to these players, guys. I'm going to give you some quick numbers real quick. And I'll let you decide if he should be happy, if he should be it's okay, or he should be actually upset. Because all off season, all he's done is talked about minimizing the penalties, and because it takes no talent. The Miami Dolphins had 13 drives in practice yesterday. Out of those 13 drives, they got 1 touchdown and they got 4 field goals. Some would argue, oh, that's decent. Because in a real game situation, that's going to give you 19 points. And in a real game situation, sometimes you only get 13 drives. That's about fair. That's about around what teams get in a game. Somewhere like 11, 12, 13, depending on how fast it's moving and things. So at the end of the day, to have 1 touchdown and 4 field goals, that's 19 points. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. If anything, we want to at least be 24 points or better on this squad this year. That's what I want at least. That's just being a favorite. But, 19 points playing against each other, a team that knows each other well, it's hard to look that much into that. But out of the 13 drives, the 1 touchdown and 4 field goals, it makes you feel good and bad because what makes you feel bad about it all is the simple fact that we had 13 offensive penalties, guys. I didn't say defense. I said offense alone. 13 penalties. You have 13 penalties, you're not going to win games. 5 scores off 13 possessions is poor. In this NFL, I would argue that I wouldn't say that it's poor. I mean, 5 out of 13. I mean, look at the Dolphins of the past. I mean, if you ask me, there was times we had 3 out of 13, you know. But I get your point. But the upside of that, to you guys that feel like that was horrible or that was poor, is the fact that it's a downside and an upside. We were able to accomplish that with 13 offensive penalties. And those penalties, and a lot of reasons, were some of the main attributables to why we stalled on some of those drives or only had to settle for a field goal. That's not good. If we can eliminate those penalties, and that's the atmosphere he's trying to infuse into our organization, I don't think we would have had 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. It might have been 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals. It might have been 3 touchdowns and 1 field goal. I don't know, but it might have been better. It could have been 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. I don't know, but it could have been better. Okay? So at the end of the day, he can't be happy because what he brings to the table is eliminating the things that take no talent. And the first thing the owner got to see when he came was a lot of mistakes made that takes no talent. Now, this isn't a knock on Brain Flores. Someone said in the chat about a minute ago, and you have a good point, they could have been nervous. It was their first play at it. I mean, I get it. And that's also not at like a lot of those snaps didn't come from second team unit. This was the team overall. First unit playing against the second unit. They're going back and forth. So, I mean, you can understand that as well. But these are the things that you definitely want to clean up. You have to. And I'll give you one last soundbite from Ryan Fitzpatrick. He basically said it's not good enough. The first drive, we got a touchdown. We went down, we executed. And then after that, it was almost like we got nothing. And I don't want the Miami Dolphins to be that type of team this season that goes down, gets us excited, get a touchdown. The other team go get a touchdown, and then we don't. Then they go get a field goal, then we don't. Then they go get a touchdown, then we don't. Then they go get a field goal, then we get a field goal. But we're always behind. I don't want that. We had to clean up these small mistakes, and I promise you, if we know Brain Flores like we think we know at this point, oh, it's going to be even rougher this week. It's going to be even nastier tomorrow. When practice starts tomorrow, it's going to, oh my gosh, the TNT wall, they're going to have to replace it, how many people running up and touching it. And I really do believe that. We shall see tomorrow because Brain Flores needs to set an example tomorrow that shows you can come out here and practice and we're trying to work on TNT, but then you get in real life game situation and all of that goes out of the window. No, not at all. That's not how things are going to go with this organization. And I look forward to seeing what he does tomorrow to make that happen. I really do look forward to it. Yes, the first possession Fitz and the O-line did good, but after that, it was sloppy. Hey, Ron, you're missing one. It wasn't just Fitz in the O-line. Kenyon Drake did well as too. But I see what you're saying because the O-line opened up a fat hole on the right side. We're going to talk about that when we on the next stream. We're going to talk about the plays and all that on the next stream. But good observation, Ron, because we're going to talk about that too because there's some promising things that came out of yesterday. Truth be told, the penalties are really the from yesterday. But there's a lot of promising things that did come out of this yesterday, man. Did you see my comment, TD? Josh, where are you? What comment? Let me move up just in case I missed it. Josh, TD, I have another big announcement from Dolphin Addicts. Oh, man, you always got to let us know, man. Go ahead, put it on here. Let us know what's going on, man. Hope it's huge again, bro. Yeah, Drake did pretty good. I don't know, Pete. That Holden guy got hurt. Yeah. Solo D is making a song for the radio show, and my name is going to be on it. That's what's up, Josh, man. That is what's up. I got to reach out to Solo D, see if he want to put some work in, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear the next one that I'm working on right now, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But that's what's up, Josh, man. I hope it's a part of your intro and everything, man. Make it yours, bro. But that is definitely what's up, man. Shout out to Josh. Y'all make sure y'all check his show out 7 p.m. every Wednesday night. And he there's times where he has special guests. Last time I was privileged enough for him to invite me on the show when they had Richmond Webb, got an opportunity to ask Richmond Webb questions and talk to him about a few things. So that was just awesome, man. And I appreciate 6:30. I don't know why I said 7. 6:30. Yes, 6:30 every Wednesday night on Facebook, guys. Dolphinatics. You got to find a page on Facebook, Dolphinatics. I said the O as an offense. Oh, okay. But hey, the offensive line did some good things in the run game, Ron. They did some good things yesterday. True, Pete. But he had a chance to throw it. At least it got converted. I'm not sure what y'all said. Oh, I know what y'all talking about with Fitzpatrick throwing one that was negated, but it's still connected. I get it. See, anything else y'all talking about before we get out of here and do the mainstream about yesterday? Anything else? Y'all hit that like button before you get out of here, guys. But yeah, Flores going to set an example, guys. It is what it is. But after this one, and I actually have more topics. I'm tripping, y'all. I'm going to be live all as much as I can today. Yesterday, I feel bad about missing it. Had to recover on the throw. I'm going to keep going until I feel like it's going to that point again. So I have an update on the playlist for today of what the different streams are going to be. This is the second stream. We're pretty much done with it. But after this, we're going to talk about training camp from yesterday. That's going to be a pretty good stream. I'm going to take calls. We're going to do all that. It's probably going to be the longest one, okay? After that, we're going to hit the Preston Williams. We're going to hit the Preston Williams and Xavier Howard endorsement. My thoughts on that. After that, because we got a lot. Let me hold on, guys. Let me pull up what I said I was going to do. After that, we're also going to do the I also wanted to do the Tom Brady extension. I really want to talk about that. I want to talk about the Tom Brady extension because they did something sneaky in that they always do with their contracts, but nobody talks about it. They never recognize it, man. They never recognize it. People think that it's just Brady getting a little bit more money. Oh my gosh, they did a little something sneaky in there. Nobody recognizes, man. What else was I? The Zach Thomas thing, I'm definitely going to hit that as well. Was there anything else that I missed? Oh, and the defensive line. There's some news and some data I want to talk to y'all about our defensive line and our schemes that should really encourage you because everybody continues to ask me about they continue to ask me about the simple fact. Shout out to Alton Tripp with the donation, man. Shout out to you, man. You always showing love, man. I appreciate your support, bro. For real, for real. But y'all always asking me because we ain't got no defensive ends, especially with the next video when we talk about the defensive ends. Not happy at all about what happened yesterday. But I'm going to give you all some perspective on another video today talking about defensive end, give you some stats and some different perspective. Hopefully it makes you feel like, oh, okay, we got to be patient about this. I think we're going to be fine. And this is the ultimate proof, y'all. I don't know how to prove it any better that we should be okay at DN, period. Y'all will see what I'm talking about, all right? This your boy TD from TD Fans Talk, man. Dudley made a point that McMillan might be on a trading block. He's not hurt, that he can't practice. They might be holding him out for a possible trade. Sam E is killing it. If that's the case, I wouldn't like it. You got Raekwon McMillan, who's a second-year player. Even if Sam, let's be honest. Flores or nobody has officially come out and say Sam E is the starter over Raekwon McMillan. But Sam E is getting all the reps. Same thing with the Drake and Balaj situation. Nobody has officially come out and say Balaj is the starter over Drake. Nobody's done any of that. We're going off of reps and what it looks like. So it's safe to say that Sam is starting over Raekwon. That's fine. Just like I feel like Balaj is over Drake, but nobody said it. That's all fine. But the thing is, I don't like if he's on a trade block, I wouldn't like that. Why would you want him on a trade block? He's a young linebacker who is still growing, has the right coaches now to fine-tune his work, and even if he's not playing better than Sam, what happens if Sam goes out? Well, if Sam got hurt today, what happens? Do you feel good about the guy behind Raekwon and Sam? Some of y'all may not even know who that is. You see what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's hard for me to say like somebody like Raekwon is on the trading block, because why would you get rid of your depth, especially if you're paying a minimal dollars on a rookie deal right now, getting, I mean, they ain't pennies. They all getting paid money, you know. They getting paid. But y'all get my placement. Y'all get my point. His contract from an NFL standpoint, that's nothing, man. Why would you get rid of that? It's not like he's a bum. At the very worst, he's average. So yeah, I wouldn't be for that. Now, if you tell me you get rid of Raekwon for a starting caliber guard, buy Raekwon. A starting right tackle, buy. Because then you got better, and here's why. Now you got a starting offensive lineman, team got better, and you got a better linebacker, a guy that's playing better linebacker right now. And what if Sam didn't turn out to be good and he was still a whatever guy? What's the difference? At least you got a guard now. You see what I mean? So at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade him. Now, if they got a nice deal on the table to trade him for a position that we really need help with, opposite corner, offensive lineman, a defensive end, Raekwon, we appreciate your services. We appreciate your services. We loved you. ED, loved. It's that simple, man. So I'm not all for the notion that he's on the trade block right now. Not unless Greer got something worked up that's going to help this team and be special. I'm just not for it because I prefer the depth. I prefer the depth. And we all should prefer the depth. So my logic on that, I mean, I don't think it lines up the same with Doug, but good perspective for Doug. Because at the end of the day, like I said, if we got a good option lined up to help the team, then that'll be a good fit to think that he might be on the trade block. He's one that could be. He could be. So I just think you can look at the receiving core before you look at the linebacker core for a trade option. I mean, do y'all think I'm off on that? That's what I would do, especially with what Preston Williams is doing, and we're going to talk about later. I would look at our receiving core as a trade option before I look at our linebacking core. And I don't know how y'all feel about that, or y'all agree. Y'all let me know in the comment section real quick before we get out of here. Which would you rather look at first? The receiving core as a trade option or the linebacking core to get rid of one of those guys for a trade? You know? Yeah, we have a lot of good wide receivers. In worst case scenario on the wide receiver core, you can get rid of one of our middle wide receivers and then just move a guy like Isaiah Ford up. Because, I mean, he has talent. I mean, we just never seen him with a shot. Both receiver and linebackers. I'm with that too. I mean, but as long as it's garnering something back, long as it's garnering the right thing back. Two linemen or one lineman in one corner. I don't know. One DN, one lineman, one DN, one corner. I don't know, but I'm with that too. Look at both of them. Whatever's going to make this roster better, whatever is going to make this team better. But everyone continues to doubt us. Everyone continues to doubt us. I watched a report today, things that was noticed at our camp, general things that we've talked about, but the guy basically said at the end, I mean, nobody's expecting this team to do anything special this year. But, you know, a few things that I noticed that shouldn't be ignored, just some general meal stuff. But no, man, no, we're doing something special. I don't care what nobody say. We're doing something special, man. As long as it brings back O-line. Wide receiver, because the linebackers will be on the field all day. Yes. Get out of here, Bree. Our offense going to be on the field all day because we're going to be methodically taking up that clock, running that ball and play action. And just man, we're going to be eating. TD, is Devontae going to play all 16 games? Man, if I was a betting man, I would bet the under. I would bet the under, but I'm the type of person that also would say I don't need Devontae to play all 16 games. Can he give us 12 a season? I mean, if he's healthy, he's healthy. I hope he play all 16. But with the receiving core we got, all I need is 12 games out of him, and then I need 6 to 8 big ones. 6 to 8 big ones. And big to me is anything over 80 yards for a receiver. Because we're going to be spreading the ball out. Anything over 80. Y'all keep on talking about Kenny Stills. We should trade Kenny Stills for a good player, man. I don't know, man. I just don't see Kenny getting traded because he's a rock who's done it for a long time. We're getting excited about a whole bunch of guys who haven't even made it off their rookie contract yet. I want y'all to think about that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I was one that said Kenny could be traded because he has value. He has the most value. But name a wide receiver on our roster who, other than Albert Wilson, who's been hurt, name another wide receiver who ain't off their rookie deal, who's done it on a consistent basis. Not showed us a flash and now we saying he that dude. You know how many guys in the NFL at every position showed us a year or two they was that dude, and then what happened to them? Why aren't they good anymore? Why aren't they? Kenny Stills got several years of that. He's the one that you can feel like you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get, and it's reliability. It's putting numbers up regardless. He still ain't reached his prime because he ain't been in the position yet to reach his prime. Not even in New Orleans because it was a young Kenny. A young Kenny, man. Still ain't reached his prime. How is Kenny Stills doing in this offense? He's doing okay. He's doing good. I mean, it ain't no fall off, but at the end of the day, the problem with Kenny Stills is even when he does something well, his name ain't even called because it's expected. It's like a weird thing we have. Kenny can go out today and put up 90 yards in a touchdown. But Devontae Parker can put up 70 in a touchdown. Hey, Parker caught that big old touchdown, man. He had a decent game. Nobody even mentioned Kenny. And it's kind of crazy. That's kind of how we treat Kenny. But silently but surely, his numbers are adding up. He's the most consistent and always getting it done. Stills may not be needed in this offense. Think about it. I'm not sure about that. I know what you're saying. I think I understand the logic you mean that you're saying. But at the end of the day, the fact remains he can still be successful in it. Well, we know Steele's the best receiver we have. The thing is, it's more of a style thing too, guys. I think we do need Kenny Stills in this offense. As long as he's beating people on the outside, we need him in this offense because we can open it up. We can throw that ball down the field. This doesn't have to be a Brady type offense. People don't realize Brady don't throw the ball down the field. Brady don't hike and then, I mean, of course he does. Every quarterback does here and there, but it's not like a primary thing where Brady is tossing that ball towards the sideline for a 60-yard bomb. That ain't what Brady doing. But we'll have that element if we have Kenny Stills. Because some could argue Brady also didn't have receivers to throw it down the field 60-yard bombs all the time. Now, maybe the middle of the field, but I'm talking about sidelines, 60-yarders. Bam. The deep ball. On the sideline. Not the middle of the field. But we can have that element that even they don't have. All right? We can still count on Kenny. I like that. That's what I'm saying, Ron. These fans fall in love with their players. Yeah, they do. Stills never got 1K yards, never got double-digit TDs. He won't be a loss. Hold on. So y'all answer me this. Hold on. Let me get this straight. So y'all want to point out the fact that Kenny Stills never got 1,000 yards and never double-digit TDs, right? Is that Kenny Stills' fault? Because we got to figure out whose fault is what. It's Tannehill's fault that we weren't as successful. So if it's Tannehill's fault, Let's be 100 here. If we're going to sit here and say that it's Tannehill's fault this team wasn't as successful in the past, then shouldn't that give other people a little bit of an excuse? If it was Tannehill's fault, shouldn't our wide receivers be able to say, well, it was because of the quarterback? You know what I'm saying? So let's pick. We got to pick. We can't sit here and say it was Tannehill's fault and now make it seem like it was also Kenny Stills' fault. He didn't have 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Come on. You can't treat everybody on an individual basis and act like one of them doesn't affect the other. Tannehill couldn't read defenses, that's why. It's fair, Brandon, but my point here is if he couldn't read defenses, can't Stills use that as an excuse? You see what I'm saying here? Come on, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to pick one or the other. You can't sit here and say Tannehill was the reason for this and Tannehill sucked, and now say Kenny never had 1,000 yards and never had double-digit touchdowns. And just let that stay as face value, like there wasn't a factor like Tannehill, if y'all want to say Tannehill was the reason. Yes, it's Steele's fault. Then help us understand how, Ron. How is it Steele's fault? How is it Steele's fault? I want to understand because I'm trying to figure out. Because whatever was Steele's fault, that means I need to take a little bit off of Tannehill. Come on, man. No, NYOB, we ain't talking about Tannehill. We're making the point. We're actually making the point for Kenny Stills. But I'm using the fact that Tannehill wasn't attributable to Kenny Stills. He was his quarterback throwing him the ball. Come on, man. Say Ron might be blaming both players. That's fine too, but at the end of the day, you can't ignore how one player can affect another. If I go out there and play quarterback, if I went out there and played quarterback, Kenny Stills ain't going to get 500 yards this year. That's a fact. So I had an effect on him. But if I went out there and played wide receiver in today's NFL, even if it was Josh Rosen, and he ain't finna have 100 yards in the whole season if I was his target. I ain't making excuses, Ron, but you ain't answered the question yet. You ain't answered the question yet, bro. You ain't answered the question yet on that. It don't make no sense. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Say it's every individual fault like they don't rely on other people. I remember Kenny Stills was actually upset. Do y'all remember that last year? Kenny Stills was frustrated when he said, I can't throw myself the ball. Do y'all remember that? Let me ask y'all that. Do y'all remember when Kenny Stills came out and said, I can't throw myself the ball? Come on, y'all. Come on. No. Wait, hold on. Somebody calling? Thank you for calling TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, TD, this is Anthony, man. What's up?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
Hey, in a way, my perspective with Tannehill is that I don't blame him for all his inconsistencies. Some of it is his fault, but we barely had an O-line when he was playing with us. So we can't blame him for his inconsistencies and him being inaccurate because he barely had time to throw.
Well, yeah, we get that, but right now it's about Kenny Stills because somebody just put in the comment, same quarterback, same offense. Landry had no issue getting back-to-back 1,100 yards, but Landry caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage more than anybody in the league. Kenny Stills is a deep threat. Kenny Stills, what he has to do for this team takes time, not sit there and take one step up and turn around and catch the ball. So what are we talking about, Ron?
That's what I'm saying. It's a twofold thing. I understand it from Stills' perspective. It's not his fault. So we can't blame Tanny. He barely had an offensive line to throw him open, is what I'm saying. So it's not Tannehill's fault or Kenny Stills' fault. It's not us not having a consistent offensive line to be able to have Tannehill stand in the pocket and throw it to Kenny Stills and stuff like that. So it's either of their fault. So whoever said that, that's an asinine comment, to be honest.
But they're trying to make, and that's my point. My whole thing is I'm just defending Kenny Stills right now. They're making it seem like it was his fault for a lack of 1,100 yards.
No, it wasn't. It was a combination of things. No offensive line, a quarterback not being healthy, and he didn't have any constant. What's it called? What's the term I'm trying to use? Connection with the quarterback, because Tannehill was injured most of the time he was with on the team on the Dolphins. So
exactly. Hold on. Give me a second. Pick it up. Stop. I'll be right back, guys. Stop. Pick it up. Don't break the iPad. Be careful with the charger. My bad, man. My little one looked like he was about to break the iPad. But yeah, but I see your point, man. But my whole thing is, and this is more so, and I ain't even worried about Tannehill, but like you said, it was more so the offensive line and it was more so the offensive line and the simple fact that Tannehill didn't have time to throw it to some of these receivers at the end of the day. Oh, he gone. Hello. Oh, is the reception bad? Oh, what's wrong with it? Bro, you need to call back. Call me back. Coaching. Kenny Stills dropped a perfectly thrown pass 3 years ago from Ryan Tannehill in Seattle. Cost us the game. 3 years ago, okay. They all do it, trust me. What's the number? Y'all know the number, guys. Put it in the comment section. Let me look it up. Hold on. Failed to retrieve server. Is that what the issue is? Let me see. Let me see if I can. Y'all call back real quick because something about the server. I'm gonna see if it works now. Reconnecting server. Well, I hope so. It just cut off again when I answered it. Failed to retrieve server error. It's getting so aggravating. I might have to restart it, guys. The phone. TD, why are you a Dolphins fan? Andre, I had no choice. It was in my DNA. I was born a Dolphin fan. I was conceived a Dolphin fan. Thank you. It keeps cutting out. Thank you for calling, TD. My bad, guys. I don't know what's going on. This is trash. Let me restart this out. My bad, guys. Let's see if I can restart this. I think the problem is that app. I think so too. Your offensive line coach was a coach. That equals no direction too. Have a question for TD, please call in the TD Fence Talk. If we can get it to work. It said I got a voicemail now, though. That's weird. TD, I just called and went straight to voicemail. I tried to answer, Anthony. It just keeps on saying server error. Thank you for... Man, that was somebody else. Let me let it ring a little first. All right, let me try. Thank you. No, it keeps cutting out. I'm going to uninstall the app and reinstall it. See if that'll help. Bruh, no LMAO. If you never played football, you wouldn't understand situation in football. It was supposed to be uninstalling. See, there it go again. Oh, Lord. My bad, guys. All right, server error. Failed to retrieve. Contact support. It's not mattering, man. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. I'll see if I can find another app between now and the next stream. Restart your phone. I'll try that too, man. That'll probably be better. Power off. All right, I just powered it off, and I'm gonna power it back on. TD had the best trick play when he played special teams. It's what I do, baby. It's what I do. Punt team, baby. Yeah, enjoy. I'll be back. Miami taking the East. Rosen wins MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and Devontae Parker goes Randy Moss this year. Hey, I'm with you on the Devontae Parker, Pete. TD is doing it again. A grocery it goes, I believe, to voicemail when I call. I know, man, something's wrong with it. It keeps saying server error. Well, I played one game of rugby, Adam. I can speak to the football subject. Breon, you a fool, man. You out of minutes. I mean, do people still have minutes? Oh, the phone's still off. Let me cut it off. Do people still have minutes, man? Is that something like, is everyone not unlimited? Is that really? And hopefully I ain't making nobody feel bad because I really don't know. Because I guess, yes, TD. I'm sorry. Let me just shut up then because I didn't know that they still do it like that. Do you think it's benefits players play other sports? Is there a specialized in football, TD? Do you think it benefits players play other sports? Is there a specializing in football, TD? I don't know what you're saying. I think you're saying, do I think it's beneficial for players to play other sports? It's always beneficial for players to play other sport, not when they're in the NFL, like, oh, I'm going to go play basketball and stuff like that. No, I'm thinking like in high school and college and things like that, because different sports brings different things out of your body as far as, like, think about it. In basketball, you're jumping all the time, a lot more running, switching directions, different things like that. That's always good, especially on defense. Just different things. I think it's always good to play multiple sports because it gives you a thought process. I think it's better mentally because you get to think about strategy in different games, different ways you can use things. You can use basketball strategy and football in some regards. It's different ways, man. I think it definitely. Some of the smartest players in basketball play football too, and a lot of the great football players play basketball in some cases. So I think it's always good. Let me see. Jarvis Landry had the same players as Stills, but had no issue getting back-to-back 1,000 yards, and neither did Mike Wallace. I mean, is this guy just continuing to forget? Totally, Ron. Let's just stop, man. Let's just stop. Total different situations, both times. Total different situations, okay? Let's just keep it 100, man. Do not sit here and act like Mike Wallace had all the weapons at the wide receiver position that Kenny Stills has now. Kenny Stills got to share the ball between 4 people. Any given day, it could be Jakeem Grant that goes off. Any given day, it could be Albert Wilson that goes off. Any given day, it could be any one of those receivers on the roster. Why don't you tell the people what was Mike Wallace's receiving core when he was with Miami? Let's keep it 100 now. Let's be transparent here and give all the details surrounding it. You're just looking at the one guy. Look at the receivers that Kenny still had to share the ball with. Weapons all over the field. So I don't get what you're talking about. Then on top of it, Look at the situation at quarterback with Kenny Stills. Early on, Tannehill injured. Offensive line issues. All of that, man. Total different situations. And stop bringing up Jarvis Landry in this. Most of Jarvis Landry passes are caught within the first 10 yards. Kenny Stills has always been our deep threat, catching the ball deep. Don't make no sense, man. Kenny Stills don't have Landry's heart. Oh, y'all questioning the man's heart. Why? Because Landry catches the ball and try to and do all of that? Come on, y'all. And then y'all act like Jarvis Landry was catching footballs and running them for the touchdown. All of the Jarvis Landry's, look up the facts. Jarvis Landry's last season with us, he caught 11 touchdowns. Do you know all of them were in the red zone? Every single one of them. Pick plays and wide open. Every single one of them. Pick plays and wide open. Come on, man. Y'all got the wrong thought process to this, man. Wrong thought process. Look at the facts, man. No, Karan be saying some off-the-wall stuff sometimes. He leaves specific information out, man. Landry had to share the ball with Stills and Parker. And that's why I said you can't use Landry. I'm talking about the Wallace situation with weapons. But when it came to Landry, he caught the ball in the first 10 yards every time. And he was the primary guy because we didn't have an O-line. They had to get rid of it fast. So there's your explanation. Landry was the outlet. Hut, our O-line sucks. Bam. How many bubble screens did Jarvis Landry catch? Compared to how many Kenny Stills caught. Let us know that, Ron. Come on, man. Let us know. And Jarvis Landry was the primary guy because he was the short-range guy. And think about it. How many passes that took away from Kenny Stills? Think about how many passes that took away from Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills always had to play with other good receivers on the roster. Come on, man. See, so there's two different Dolphin teams. I don't know what this guy's talking about, man. Ron, the logic doesn't add up, but call in so we can better understand. That's what I'm trying to understand. Well, maybe it's, hold on. Hold on. I think it was it asked me to do something. The pick plays were used to get Stills open. Okay. But they went to Landry. And then on top of it, the pick plays, that they all got pick plays, but what I am telling you, y'all want to say double-digit touchdowns, every single one of Landry's touchdowns was wide open or a pick play. That's all I was saying. You're using it as, oh, he got the ball more in short distance. Excuses, got it. Hey, if that's what it takes in your how you calculate it, then excuses is your conclusion. Excuses is what I'm making then. If that's how you calculate it. But I don't think anyone is understanding your logic about what you're talking about. When Wallace was a Dolphin, the only 1,000-yard receiver was Hartline. I don't even know the stats on that. I don't remember who was the 1,000-yard receiver then, but Ron said that, Wallace did it too. So I don't know. Let me see. Hey, it just gave me a message. Whoa, why is it ringing? It's ringing, which is weird on its own.
Hello.
Who do we have?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong number then.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Finsanity. What's up, Finsanity? Just trying to talk some sense into Ron, man. I don't know what he be talking about. Let me see. Ron, you're confusing excuses with explanations. It's all right, Adam. Everybody got their own computation mentally. Oh, it's work. Thank you for calling TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Who is this?
My bad, bro. I did get the right number.
Oh, okay. Man, it wasn't working for a while, man. Who we got on the line?
Oh, okay. I'm thinking I was tapping in the wrong number then, man.
What's going on? Who is this?
It's Manuel, man.
Oh, what's up, Manuel, man? Talk to us, man. Oh. Hold on, Manuel. Give me a second, because I'm trying to I think I had it. All right, can you hear me now? What? Oh man, this thing here, man. Let's try that again. Anyway, man, we're gonna probably end these calls, man. It just ain't working, man. I don't know what's going on with it. TD, let's try it again. Hello?
System 305.
Weird. I think what's happening is there's so many people trying to call in, so it's my bad, guys. I'm just gonna close everything. What's going on? Hello, Carlos. What Carlos talking about, man? At Bree, I'd rather watch females in bikinis than Ron's logic. Yeah, I think it's just the app messing up, man.
Hello?
Hello? I'm done with this app. I'm going to get another one, y'all. I'll just go off of another one. Sorry about this, y'all. I know I'm wasting a lot of time, man. Last time I'm trying. Hello? Who is this?
Yeah, hi. My name's Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, what's up?
I wanted to ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm doing good. So, TD, you said that the Dolphins, they're going to win the division and all that. Have you ever thought that there's this possibility that, with the Patriots dynasty and, with the Bills and the Jets up and coming, that, maybe this prediction could be maybe not happen because it's not so realistic?
Well, realistic, when you say it's not realistic, that's a state of
Because you said, how many wins? You said 12 wins?
say 11 and 5.
I'm just stating the facts. I'm trying to use logistics here because I know for a fact, being a football fan, that when it comes to, with the upcoming season, you want to really look at it, with a statistical mindset, because if you don't, you don't want to make a dumb prediction. So,
Well. Let me say this. Okay. When you say that it's not realistic and you're spitting the facts, that's false. And here's why. Just the simple notion of you saying that it's not realistic is a matter of perspective. And you have yours. You have your perspective. I have my perspective. So that's a matter of perspective, not fact. So remember, perspective isn't fact. So just remember that. If you go look at the definitions, perspective isn't fact.
Okay, well, no, what do you think? No, because do you think that Josh Rosen's going to have a great season? What is being put into that prediction? Because it's pretty competitive. I mean,
did you watch the video where I made that prediction?
Because what? And they have a pretty hard schedule. So I mean, them going for like 12 wins. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Some major injuries?
No, none of that. None of that goes into my analysis
They do win the division,
of my perspective.
Do you think they're going to go as far? Because they'll end up what? If they go, like, let's say far and they play the Chiefs, there's many teams that have more talent than the Dolphins. And not only that, they have more experience because the coach is Brian Flores. This is his first season. You look at a team like the Chiefs, Andy Reid, he's been coaching there for several seasons. So maybe Brian Flores is a great coach, but it takes some time for him to have, Super Bowl success. Don't you think that maybe this team is a few years removed from, being called a Super Bowl contender?
Maybe. Depends on your perspective.
Because I look at it like this. They have a lot of draft picks. They have a lot of money in next free agency. I think in a few years they can be Super Bowl contenders. But right now, looking at the roster the way it is, I think calling the Dolphins a team that could make the playoffs is just being delusional because.
So did you call to hear my reasoning why? Because that was your first question. What was my basis behind it? So I'm trying to figure out, are you going to allow me to give my reasoning why? Or are you just calling to tell us what you think is going to happen? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Which one do you want?
No, Edie, listen to me, Edie. I have great respect for your opinions. You're a Dolphins super fan. You know your stuff. Like, these are facts. I'm just curious why you think that the Dolphins are going to go and win the AFC East because.
Okay, stop right there. That's what I'm trying to answer. Do you want me to answer that question? Or do you want to tell us why we're not? Which one? I just want to know which one. I'm asking you
this question.
Okay, so you've asked it.
Okay, I'll let you speak.
All right. So I was saying that us not doing it is a matter of perspective. And then I asked you, did you watch the video of me making the 11-5, not 12-4 that you keep saying, the 11-5 prediction? Did you watch the video?
Okay.
Did you?
11-5, okay, but you said a winning record.
No, I'm saying to you, did you watch the video? Did you watch the video of me telling you that?
I just want you to reiterate it in the live.
Okay, all right. Let me reiterate it for everyone, okay? And please give me the opportunity to reiterate it, okay? My logic behind this team going 11-5 and winning the division and possibly in the Super Bowl. Remember, strong emphasis on possibly, just like winning the division, possibly, okay? Now, me being a fan, we're going to win the division and we're going to win the Super Bowl. So let's make sure first and foremost we divide the two.
You being a fan. Listen, you being a fan.
Stop. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to have to hang up, but you said that you're going to let me explain. I don't think you're comprehending. All right, I can't. But listen, I don't think this person is comprehending the difference of what I'm saying here. I'm being a fan in one spectrum, and then I'm being just straight out my analysis in the other. Hopefully they're watching so they can comprehend this, okay? Me giving my analysis is what I'm about to explain of why I think we can go 11-5 and win it all, win the division and win it all. The other side is me being a fan, which I acknowledge we're going to do it and we're going to win it all. That's the definitive as a fan. I am being a fan on the definitive. But my logic behind why I think we can possibly actually do it, being accurate, I explained in the last video that there is only one team in the NFL that has the model to win and do it on a consistent basis. That is the New England Patriots. On that video not too long ago, I explained to you all what model they use and how they get it done. And then I related it to the simple fact that we are now going to have that model. The Patriots are going in just like that, us almost every year, don't have the best talent in the NFL, don't overpay too many players on the roster, and they make sure they TNT, don't make no mistakes. Because every year the Patriots win, the team opposite of them makes more mistakes, especially in crucial moments. Look at the Chiefs, like this person pointed out, right? Now, the Miami Dolphins is no longer going to be playing against everyone else. We are going to be playing against ourselves. And as long as we don't make the mistakes and we don't beat ourselves and we follow the game plan, we are going to be successful. Believe it or not, the Patriots have always been, some people don't believe it, but go look it up. They have been the underdog to lose the Super Bowl. Out of the 7 that they won in the last 15 whatever years, 6 or whatever they won, they were only the favorites one time. No different. But what I'm saying to you, whoever the caller was, is that we are going to be playing the same model, and now it only relies on who can do it better, who can do it more consistently, and who will make the least amount of mistakes doing it. We're going to be competitive every week, and we're going to get some W's because we're not following the same model as everyone else. These rushing quarterbacks, all of those type of different models that teams are chasing to win the Super Bowl, they aren't the winning way. We finally have the winning way. Now, I also said in that video that there are a few more things that have to happen for us to win it all. We have to get a cornerback opposite Xavier Howard. We have to get a defensive end who can apply a little bit better pressure on the quarterback, which I'm going to make a video about that later as well, because we don't need a superior DN. And I'll tell you why. Man, this person that got me so hyped up, I'll talk about it right now, man. I'll talk about it right now. As far as the D-line. Because everybody wants to talk about what we don't have as being the reason we won't be successful. Remember that, what I just said. Everyone wants to talk about what we don't have as why we won't be successful. And I want to tell them on some of those things that they talk about what we don't have, we don't need to be successful. Some people have hit me up and said, you don't have a defensive line that can get at the quarterback. You don't have a double-digit sack guy that can get at the quarterback. So why do you think you're going to win? Let me ask you all a question real quick in the comment section. Let me ask you all a question. Do you need legit defensive ends to win a Super Bowl? Do you need a guy on your roster to get more than 10 sacks to win a Super Bowl? Let me ask y'all that in the comment section. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you think. Yes or no? Just that simple. Yes or no? Do you need a legitimate defensive end to get it done? Do you need a 10-plus sack guy to get it done? Let me know what y'all think. You need a great O-line to make a Super Bowl. I'd agree with that. Now we got Colin said yes. Jeff said yes. Everybody else is saying no. Legit DN is good. No need for a 10-plus sack guy. I'm good with that too. Now, let me give y'all some facts. Ryan F says yes, TD. And Ryan F is a Patriots fan that says yes, you need a 10-plus sack guy and you need a legit DN. Well, let me give Ryan F, who is a Patriot fan himself, a few facts, okay? And I actually went and looked this up because I couldn't believe it myself. But let me read this to y'all. Since Belichick has been coach and implemented the system, what is the blueprint of what we will be following, right? The Pats have had a player have over 10 sacks 3 times since the year 2000. 3 times the Patriots have had a 10-plus sack guy in 20 seasons. 19 to be fair. 3 times. Only 3. Facts. I had to look it up. Since the year 2000, only 2 have been defensive ends, and one of them was a defensive tackle. The other, no, not a defensive tackle, a linebacker. Only twice in 19 years, the Patriots had a defensive end with 10-plus sacks, and one time a linebacker. In the same time, Miami has had 15 players with over 10 sacks. All of them by a defensive end. Miami, 0 playoff wins. New England Patriots, 16 division titles, 28 playoff victories, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 championships. You don't need a defensive end that's going to get you 10 plus sacks. You don't. It's a fact. So everybody wants to point at what's not realistic for us based off of false facts. Yeah, you need good defensive ends, but you don't need the double sack guy. What everybody talk about when you listen to the mainstream media. Well, the Miami's going to struggle on the D-line. They don't have a guy that could put up 10 plus sacks. That's all you hear. They don't have a guy who can give them double-digit sacks. They don't have a guy that could be that threat. And Flores constantly keep on telling y'all the most successful defensive season I've had with the Patriots has been our least amount of sack season. It was the season that we had the least amount of sacks. And Flores continues to tell y'all it's not about sacks. It's all pretty. You like a sack. But it's about defensive pressures, making the quarterback uncomfortable, getting him to throw the ball away or hurrying up the pass, making sure that you're putting somebody in his lane. You get the wrong mentality of why we're not, just like the media. Why is okay, let me ask people this. If you don't think that we're going to be successful this year, all you have to do is say, why aren't we going to be successful this year? Let's start there. If there's anybody on this stream right now who feels like we're not going to be successful this year, tell us your number one reason why. And I've said, before you do it, I said on that video a few days ago when I said that the Miami Dolphins are going to win the division and we could even do better and win the Super Bowl. On that same stream, I also said the reason why I feel that way is because I don't think Greer and those guys are done. I think before the season starts or at the beginning of the season, they're going to probably bring in one more piece that's going to help this O-line. They're going to bring in another piece, either it be depth or starter at the cornerback position. And I said we might get a little help at the DN position. Don't mean it's going to be a legit guy. I said that on the video. Now, with that being said, tell me right now in the chat, if we do those things, why aren't we going to be successful this year? I want to hear from y'all. Tell me why we're not going to be successful instead of me telling you why we are, because I done told you a million times why we are. But let's start with why we're not so that I can go ahead and talk to y'all about that. QB, why do you feel we're not going to be successful because of QB? Once again, if Joe Flacco can win a Super Bowl, we can be successful. If Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl, we can be successful. The logic isn't there. Y'all thinking about it in the wrong spectrum. You thinking, once again, every position that you name, you keep on thinking about that position needs to be elite instead of playing as a unit or being a part of the scheme in the system. You all think that those positions have to be elite players. It's been proven time and time again. You don't need elite players. Everybody had this notion, oh, the Dolphins just don't have a lot of talent. Do y'all really believe we don't have talent on our roster? Come on, man. Are you serious if you believe that? You need one cohesive unit. Thank you, Jacquees. One cohesive unit playing together. Just like Charles Harris said earlier. I'm more in the mindset of one cohesive unit now. That's what I understand now. That's it. What about the O-line? What about them? Are we going to sit here and act like the Patriots have always had an elite O-line? Come on, they haven't. They haven't. Excellent running backs. So the Patriots had excellent running backs? And forgive me for always saying the Patriots, but my stance on why we're going to do good this year is because they have the formula of how to be successful. And we're running that formula. Now it's a race on who does it better. The sooner y'all understand that, the sooner you'll get out of your own way of thinking you know what football should be. Because anything against what I'm telling y'all right now hasn't worked in this NFL. I'll wait for y'all to give me the proof that it did work. Because it's only been one franchise that has dominated in the last 20 years. And all these one-hit wonders, I can almost guarantee you their quarterback was on a rookie deal and could afford more talent around them. Facts, man. I mean, we have excellent RBs. Okay. Patriots never had an excellent running back. They always had the defense and the formula. But those running backs look really good. Those running backs look really good. See, the thing with the Patriots is everybody looks really good. Do you know why everybody looks really good? Because they play as one cohesive unit. Matter of fact, let me pull that back a little. I'm not even gonna say they look really good. The team looks really good, and we fall into the media fray of saying, "Oh, it's only because of the quarterback." Stop. When the quarterback himself, out of his own mouth, came out and said, "I enjoy the competitive advantage of having better talent around me." But the crazy thing is, the better talent around him, nobody gives praise to. Why did it take freaking Amendola? Why did it take Amendola all this time to start getting recognition? Well, why am I saying Amendola? I mean Edelman. Why did it take him all this time to get recognition? 6 years ago, oh, Edelman ain't nobody. He just he trash. 5 years ago, every single year, Edelman, I mean, he ain't nobody. It's just really Brady and Gronk. But he been doing the same thing every year. He been doing the same thing every year. In some of the biggest games, he'll come up with 7, 8 catches every year. And now all of a sudden, he has one big game in a big moment of 11 catches. He's that guy now. All of a sudden, oh, he do got an elite receiver. These new age fans, oh, he do got an elite receiver. Edelman elite. You see what he be doing? Oh, but where was that energy when he was doing it the year before last, the year before that, the year before that? Everybody on their roster been doing what they do for a while, but nobody seemed to give them any praise. But now, 5, 6, 7 years of consistency from them, now we want to point out a few of them. Edelman not elite. He not elite, but he darn good. He's darn good. That's the point. You don't need elite. They keep thinking we need elite to be successful. You don't need elite. You just need a whole bunch of good. It's all you need. A whole bunch of good. And the only team in this league that makes sure they go out and get a whole bunch of good instead of elite, trash the rest of the roster. No, they get really good players. And we got really good players. You got to balance it out on the whole roster so you minimize your weakness at any point. Defenses have to look at our team now. Offenses have to look at our defense now and say, it's a little harder to pick what we're going to take advantage of. It's a little harder to pick what we're going to take advantage of. It's harder for us to just say we're going to take advantage of going deep because they got some good safeties. Them linebackers are real good now. It's hard for us to just take advantage of the middle of the field. And then my slot receiver, I love taking advantage of him. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, last year, they read their scouting reports too. Every offense that play against our defense read the scouting report. Minkah Fitzpatrick last year, he was number 1 in the entire league covering the slot. I can't take advantage of that. We can't take advantage of crushing them up the middle like we did last year when they got hurt. They got Godshaw, they got Spence, their first round pick, Harris, all these guys. It's harder to sit back and nitpick what you're going to take advantage of. Yeah, we could pick on that corner opposite X, but you know what? He got some help side at safety. That's something they might be able to get to. But at the end of the day, you spread out the talent, elevate the average. See, some people think out of 11 defensive players on the field, on a scale of 1 to 10 from their greatness, you want a 10, 10, 10 and a 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And then you get an average of about a 7. Instead of having a 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8.5, better spread out talent. That's what it takes. Let me tell y'all something. Last thing before I digress from this crap, man. Everybody who don't feel like we're going to be successful is only pointing to one thing: the lack of quote unquote talent. The lack of it. And the same thing they say about the Patriots every year. Y'all don't realize I pay attention to this stuff. They don't go in as the favorite. Every year they talk about what talent the Patriots lost. They're not going to fall off a cliff, but this isn't going to be their year. And what happens? Come on, man. Shout out to Bree with the donation. Talk about take a break and calm down. Thanks, management. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Bree said refund. I don't know if it worked that way, Bree. Hey, you management, you should be processing your own refund, man. Hold on, man. This TD Fans Talk, who we got on the line, man? Hello? Who is this?
It's Travis, you and Dolphins, man.
What up, Travs, man? Talk some sense into me or talk some sense into everybody else. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, no, man. You know how they do us here, man. We ain't gonna win this, but we got talent. And for everybody to keep talking about this Sam Darnold and Josh Allen thing, man, the NFL is way harder than college. And for one, Sam Darnold ain't never beat in his career. He ain't never beat no Georgia, LSU, Alabama, all them big schools. He never in his career beat. So what makes them think he gonna come to the NFL and go to the Super Bowl like that?
Like I was saying earlier, people have their perspective of things, and nothing's wrong with their perspective. It's just, but what that is, it's a generated opinion at the end of the day. But what gets to me is when people try to make their opinion a fact without actual evidence. That's what gets to me. People try to turn their opinion into a fact. That's why I'm so adamant, and sometimes of what I be saying, I say potentially and what I like to happen. That's why I divide the two of me being a friend and my analysis. In my analysis, I'm giving you facts about what I think. As a fan, I'm just telling you what I want and what's going to happen because I'm a fan. But they want to think that I put both together and I'm trying to make my analysis my fact. My fanhood. And that's not what I'm trying to do to everybody that watches this channel. It's not what I'm trying to do. I try to tell y'all the difference of when I'm being a fan and when I'm basically giving you my analysis, and I give you facts to back that up. So when we go back and forth and we have these discussions, guys, make sure you bring in facts if you want to. Okay, give me the evidential proof why. Tell me why. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear, arguments like that. Giving the people your evidential facts of why. All right? But talk to me, Trav. What you think we're going to do this year?
Man, I know what we gonna do. With or without Rashad Jones, we still good. We still gonna have top 10 defense. Our defense ain't the problem. And be honest, our offense ain't the problem. You know what I'm saying? They just feel like that because of the years we had, the ups and downs and stuff like that. But I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I say 11-5, and that was just the worst. I feel like we going like 12-3. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I
12-4.
I feel like that every year, but you know what I'm saying? If everything goes right, no injuries or nothing like that, we going back 12-3.
12-4. I get you, man. And that makes if everything goes right. And the crazy thing is, when I say we're going 11-5, I'm painting a picture of what that looks like. 11-5 Miami Dolphins, meaning that we're getting either the best Fitzpatrick play of his career, or Rosen is showing why the whole Arizona thing was a fluke. That means we're getting a two-headed monster at running back, where both of those guys eating. That means our receivers are catching the ball all over the field, even if none of them are 1,000-yard receivers, is because everybody eating. That's because our tight ends, for once in 5 million years, are finally getting some looks and eating. And that means our defense is playing Coach Flores type defense. Now, at the end of the day, if our quarterbacks don't work out that way, if our running backs ain't playing well, if our tight ends ain't getting off, if our O-line is trash, and our defense ain't Flores light, then very well we can win 0 games. You see how I could say that, but people will tune that out. No, he said 11-5. I don't want to hear a scenario where he say we can win 0 because that's gonna make him seem like, oh, he's being fair here. Nothing I say is in stone. Circumstances happen. I truly believe we would have won 10 plus games if we have the injuries we had last year on the O line and the D line. I really believe that. But what's the difference between all these media outlets out there that keep on telling people we're going to win 3 games, but we started 3-0 and we won 6? Where was that energy then? Did we give the same energy to the people that say we were going to win 3 games even though we won 6? 3 games wasn't realistic for us last year. That was unfair. Were we showing that same energy? Not cool, man. But y'all come to me because I have a positive outlook and telling you what'll need to happen in that situation, and I'm being delusional. Okay. Call me nuts, I guess. That's just my take on it, man.
It's almost like a Miami thing for some reason because they feel like that about Miami Hurricanes. But I don't know. It's just, we do one of the most disliked teams in football. It's been like that for years, that because they come out here and say, because Arizona, for example, because they drive Kyle Murray, now they playoff contender. One player, now they playoff contender.
And that kills me. Now the Arizona Cardinals are a playoff contender because they drafted one person. That's what kills me about everybody who listens to this mainstream media stuff. And they have I digress, man. But I appreciate you, Travis, for sure, calling in. Anything else before you out of here, man?
Yeah, man. Just, hey, man, lock this number in, man, because I want to talk to you, man, like off air.
I got you, bro.
I want to do that, but I could never, get the time. My phone right now ain't working, so when you see this name, Sneaker More, that's me.
Well, do me a favor. Text the number. Text the number that I gave. Text the number that I gave so I'll remember because I always forget when people ask me to do something while I'm live.
Text it.
Yeah, just text it to this number and then I'll lock you in.
All right, send this number to the phone we on now.
Yeah, just text the number. Send a text message to it. Then I'll remember. Say this Trav, all right?
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, appreciate you too, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Do we have anyone else? I'll take one more, man. I'll take one more. One more. And Breon talk about we going 15-1. And guess who that one losses to? Breon, how about the Giants? Somebody in your division, the team you like. How about that? Get out of here, man. What's up? What's up? This TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, what's good?
Oh, you got to turn it down. You got to turn it down. I'm hearing an echo.
Hey, my bad. This is me, Shake Money.
Nah, you good. What up, Shake?
How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man.
Hey, I wanna give you my take on your explanation on the Drake situation, the Rosen situation, and the linebacker situation. This is my take on your take, all right? If you mind me saying so.
Oh, you good?
Okay, cool. I look at it as, all right, check this out. A hurricane warning, right? You get that like 2 weeks in advance. And the reason you get a hurricane warning is because the weather people, there's like 3 different weather channels. Now, all of them, they're looking at the weather condition, they're looking at the trajectory of it, they're looking at how was the speed and everything. Okay, it has a chance of landing to your spot. And I think that's what you're doing. You're looking at the training camps, you're looking at the statistics that they're being shown right now, and those statistics is what's making you say, okay, this guy's going to be the starter, this guy's going to do this, and this guy's going to do that. You're not just guessing.
Yes.
You're analyzing just like the
meteorologist people analyze where the hurricane is going and what it may not hit to where they say it's going, but they're giving you their analysis as they see things progress.
So you can be prepared for it if it comes.
Pardon?
So you can be prepared for it if it does.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing what you said about the Kenny Stills trade and the possibility of this guy. You're not saying it's going to happen, but you're looking at the things that cause you to conclude. There's actual proof that you're looking at that could lead you to think that way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I couldn't put it better. Great analogy.
You know, so it's not like you're trying to say things are etched in stone. Say, look, this is how I see things. And I've seen you personally to come out of your mouth, okay, I was wrong. But hey, I was guessing. Everybody was guessing what this player was going to do and what that player do. But this is my take on how I see things panning out. You're not saying this is how it's going to be. No, you're saying this is how I think it's going to be played out. And people only hear this is how it's going to be.
And you're spot on. I'm not giving any definitives of what's going to happen unless I'm getting in my fan mode, right? Now, I'm not even, if I'm wrong, I'm not even guessing. I don't even say, I was guessing. Because a lot of times me taking this approach, just like a hurricane, right? Say it's projected to hit Miami 2 weeks earlier. And say that it ends up 3 days before, it doesn't look like it's going to hit Miami now. It's going under to the Keys. But the meteorologist has a reason why. There's new information. The wind coming from the north has picked up. The this or that. Situations change as we get closer to the arrival date. That make things change. I said that Kalen Ballage is going to start. What if Kenyon Drake is out for the next 3 weeks? Then a situation changed that made Kenyon Drake start. But people will still say, you was just wrong. You said that this was going to happen. Circumstances change. I evaluate it every day, but I use all the data. But what kills me is when people come that have no data. They haven't been looking at data since spring camp. They haven't been looking at stuff all the way since we hired Flores in February to know how I'm getting my conclusion. But they're trying to tell me my conclusion is wrong. My hypothesis, the hypothesis I come up with, they're trying to tell me it's wrong, but they have no study to back up why it's wrong. They're just going off of what they feel. And I'm sorry, I don't work off of emotion over here and how I feel. And the only time I do that, and I always give the disclosure, I'm in fan mode.
I agree. And look, I'm the biggest Drake fan out there, but check this out. I'm going to pitch you a scenario that could take Drake out there. I'm a Drake fan. So so this is, I'm giving you my 100%, I'm taking my, like you said, phantom out of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, check this out. Let's say week 1 starts, right?
Uh-huh. And
the Patriots, for some reason, said, James White, we really don't need you. We're good on running back. You don't think Flores is going to be like, oh shit, James White is a free agent? Let's go get him right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There goes his chances right there, because like this guy, we know he could do what we're gonna ask of him.
Who's that? Drake?
So, like you said, things change. James White.
Yeah.
They could cut James White. Flores is good. You don't think Flores is gonna look at him to bring him over?
Absolutely. You want to make your roster better with any means necessary. If he can get James White for the right price, now we'll be talking about having 3 backs. I'm talking about 3 that everybody knows. I know we got other ones down the succession, but then we also might even be doing that for a trade asset. It could be many reasons why you bring them in.
Again, he knows how to run what he knows. Okay, I know this guy knows how to run my system.
Mm-hmm. True too.
I know he knows what the screen. I know he knows how to block. I know what his weaknesses are. I know what his strengths are. Mm-hmm. So I can easily build around him versus the other 2 they have right now. I'm not taking away skill, but I'm just saying.
True.
He knows from an X's and O's standpoint better than he does the 2 running backs that we have now.
Exactly. But you know what? You can't think like a fan to come to that conclusion. And you're not thinking as a fan of Kenyon Drake, you're thinking of just straight up logic.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, and I'm doing this just for fun, okay? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, whether you're a Drake fan or a Lions fan, at the end of the day, we want one thing, and that's for the Dolphins to win. But I don't care who the running back is. And to be honest with you. You feel me?
That's all that matters is the W, man. That's it. But I appreciate you giving that analysis, because maybe those who are listening, maybe hopefully, because I try to put it in, because I find myself repeating myself 10 times straight. I try to put it in different ways so people can understand, because I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like some things are common sense. But I'm glad you used the hurricane analogy, because it makes all the sense in the world. It's not that I'm saying what is going to happen. It's that just like a meteorologist, based off of the wind, based off of the projected path, based off of all the evidence, we have a touchdown point of where the hurricane is going to drop. We know who is going to start at what position based off of everything we have so far. And if circumstances change, the wind speed dies down, the water cools down, the water gets hotter, it can change that storm and it can change the path just like that. It don't mean I was wrong if it changed. It means circumstances change. And the beautiful thing about this channel, I'm always changing with the circumstance. Mm-hmm. Today, I might be sitting here talking about Fitzpatrick, yay! But yesterday, I felt better about Josh Rosen creeping up into the conversation. And by the time week 1 comes, you might hear me talking about, depending on what happens, you might hear me talking about Josh Rosen needs to start over Fitzpatrick. Depending on the climate. What's going on? What's been happening in practice? Just the reality, man. People try to make what I'm saying just what's going to happen.
Yeah, and before I go, I'm going to leave you with this. Check this out. You ever watch, I watch pregame, Sunday pregame, and then you have these coaches, they're on this pregame. You got 2 Hall of Fame coaches on there. Mm-hmm. Let's say Jimmy Johnson and you say Bill Cowher, Hall of Fame coaches, right? And you tell them about, let's say, Chiefs versus Patriots, and they both give you a different analysis. Mm-hmm. So that tells you right there that even the so-called experts see things differently than everybody. Doesn't make them wrong or right. It just gives them their perspective. That's how they see things playing out in their perspective, from their point of view. Just like how you're doing it.
Exactly. People have different perspectives and different point of views, but the person I'm gonna always listen to the most is the one that when they give their point of view, they are bringing the facts with it. They're not just gonna say, "Hey, I got the Chiefs," or "Hey, I got the Patriots." They're gonna say, "Hey, I got the Patriots because they do this well, and the Chiefs do not guard well against that." They also have I'm going with facts, man. And we just had a message in the comment section that said, I guess you forgot that majority of this team was from last year, a mess, can't be cleaned up in a few months. The team is dysfunctional, 6-10 if they are lucky. And I would actually push back on that heavily. This is not the same team from last year. Yes, I would say half of this team is from last year, but this is not the same team from last year at all. I mean, at the end of the day, you got a new defensive tackle. You got different defensive ends. You got a linebacker who's coming on looking to start. At the end of the day, you got a much more skilled secondary based off of the scheme. And that's another thing. I don't even know why I'm going position by position. This ain't the same team, because this team here, even if it was all the same players, Cam Wake was back, even if all of them was back, the only thing that matters isn't the personnel, it's the scheme that they're running, putting them in their strengths. Now we're going to put this, if I'm just to appease whoever wrote that, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and hypothetically say it was the best team, just to go down that road and fall into it, even though it's not. Now we're going to have these same players in a different scheme, fitting just their strengths. Now we ain't going to worry about Minka Fitzpatrick at the cornerback as much, giving up 80% of the balls that went his way. Now we're not going to have certain players in positions where that didn't fit them. It's totally different. Different coaching, different schemes will make a difference. And people underestimate that. People have an addiction of worrying about the player themselves versus the schematic role they play for the team. The fan base of the NFL.
Let me have something. Last year, they said Jacksonville was going to be the hardest team we were going to face before kickoff. Oh, Jacksonville, that's going to be a guarantee. Even though they didn't win, but a guarantee.
Everybody, 9, 10, or 11 wins for Jacksonville.
Guarantee loss for the Dolphins. By the time we almost paid them all, it's a guarantee win for the Dolphins. What happened?
That too. It was a guaranteed win for the Dolphins, and we got beat. But you know they'll argue that's because we were that bad. That's what they'll say. It's any given Sunday.
They had the same team as last year. There was no roster change that made them so bad. They had the same team from last year.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing, it's any given Sunday. Sometimes the superior team loses to the way less superior team from a talent standpoint. It's because that less superior team came in with a better game plan. See, people run away from talking about schemes and game plans. They run away from that a lot of times because they don't know nothing about it. All they do is watch football on Sunday and look at the quarterback connect with a wide receiver or a running back running the ball for a big game, and they don't even know how it happened. They ignore the fact that the quarterback handed the ball off 3 times to the left, and they got 6+ yards on all 3. And then on the 4th time, they hit a play action that way, which finally opened up the deep ball because the other coaches said, we need y'all to play a little more downhill. We can't get beat on the run like this all game. They don't care about, they don't see that aspect of football. All they see is the end result or what, they don't pay attention to what actually allowed it to happen. Do you remember that play last year where Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson was running and they high-fived each other? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Nobody looks at the massive block that Frank Gore made on that play. Without that block, he would have went for 6 yards, been in the story. Nobody looks at how he came across and laid a massive block on that play. That's what allowed the play. But all they see is the end result. And guess what they do at the end of the day? Oh, Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson high five, and those guys are ballers. But guess what? They wouldn't have been the same ballers if Frank Gore ain't do his part.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kills me.
It's just like when Brain Flores asked about, when they asked Brain Flores, what are you going to miss about Gronkowski? He goes, one thing he's going to miss about Gronkowski is the stats that he does, the plays that he do, that doesn't show up on the highlight film. That's what he's going to miss about Gronkowski, the blocking and the things that people don't see in the highlight reels.
And guess what? I love that you just said that, because if you ask a general fan that don't study football, why was Gronkowski good? Oh, he always catch the ball over you, man. He was a big body. He got good hands, and him and Brady just is a good connection, and Brady kind of made him great. But they don't look at his blocking. They don't look at how he's able to actually pick somebody without looking like he's picking because of his skill. They don't look at how he draws the double team. See, they think that he just draws a double team. But when they hike that ball, how he get up and he exaggerate his running like he's going to be the target, and he pulled the safety to let Hogan or somebody get a nice dig route. They don't look at the intangibles. They just look at the end result. Who caught it? Who threw it? They get all the credit. And that's what we're typically arguing with. People that look at football from the result standpoint, and they can care less about studying how that result happened. How the result happened. There's teams that have below average offensive lines, but you'll never know because the team schematics is getting rid of the ball fast.
And I'm glad you brought up offensive lineman because here's the thing: a lot of people. I understand you need a good offensive line to be successful, but at the same time, if your play calling is predictable, you can have the number one offensive line in the world. It's not gonna help. If your play calling is predictable, if they know where you're gonna throw, if they know where you're gonna run, if they know what you're gonna do, and you're not being creative, they're gonna stop you every time.
Every time they know, and even
that has to do with play calling as well.
Well, that's a big factor that goes unnoticed because people don't realize. You see, a play can go bad. It can be terrible play calling in the situation, but all they see is that the quarterback got sacked, or the quarterback threw the ball away, or it was an incomplete, but you should have never ran that type of play, given the fact that they're gonna play the sticks. Like you'll see you'll see any team's defense on a 3rd and 9. The 4 backs and the linebackers are all lined up at the first down marker, but you're actually calling plays where every receiver on the field runs to the first down and turns around. But you know what? They're going to look at it as, oh my gosh, what do we do? Why did the quarterback throw that? He was already covered. Or why did the receiver just – they don't – and let me go a step further on that O-line situation. People don't understand that the Patriots have not had great O-lines all these years. A part of their scheme, they had good O-lines, but not great. But a part of their schemes to mask their O-line to always look above average is this. What does Brady do at the beginning of every game? Dink and dunk. What does dink and dunks do to the defensive line? It starts to slow them down because all their hard efforts are going to waste. And then they start running it on you, making you work even harder. And then you wonder why in the middle of the 3rd quarter, now they're opening it up. Because the defense, the mental of a defense can't just keep on giving it their all and going and they know this, so they make that a scheme of theirs. And then late in the game, Brady got 6 seconds to throw the ball, and everybody think he got a 6-second O-line. No, the scheme allowed that. But they don't look at that.
Yeah, and to elaborate what you're saying is, a lot of times I've seen a lot of Patriots game where Gronkowski won't have a catch in the first half, and maybe even the 3rd quarter, the game is tight. And all of a sudden, people are like, okay, Gronkowski isn't doing nothing. Next thing you know, he's wide open because everybody ignores him. Because he's not doing anything. You know what I mean? He's like, they haven't thrown to him all night. So why are we bothering double teaming him? You know, what's the point? They haven't thrown to him all game. And then still 4th quarter, when the game counts, he's wide open.
They bait you into that stuff. They make you feel like you are starting to figure out the game plan, and then they open it up because you're not the same shell of yourself on the first snap. The defenses they play against from the 3.5 quarters to the end of the game is not the same defense at the beginning of the game. And they know that, and their game plan utilizes that to their strengths. Every time. But you can't run those type of schemes unless you minimize your mistakes. You got to minimize your mistakes. Because even Brady them on dinks and dunks, 5 yards here, 4 yards there. One mistake on 3rd down, you're punting. That's why they got to minimize the mistakes. And they do. They don't put themselves behind the chains. And Ron said something that he's so true about. But nobody but me mentioned the block Drake got earlier in that same game to spring Grant on his long TD. You're right. And you're 100% right. But when it comes to Drake blocking, I just don't see the consistency. But as far as scheme and what it takes, you're right. That was a huge play for Drake, and he allowed Grant to do what he did. But guess who got all the credit, Ron? And you would agree. Grant. But we both know that Drake should have got the credit there. He should have got the credit there. But nobody gives the credit where credit is due on some of the biggest plays in football. They only look at the end result. Some of these top players in the league, some of these top receivers in the league, like, you know how quarterbacks always giving gifts to the O-line? The receivers should be doing the same thing for the O-line in a lot of cases. It's so many attributables in football, but everybody wants to ignore them. And that's what makes the Patriots so intricate in their coaching staff. They don't ignore the attributables. One thing affects the other. As soon as you get in that mind frame, you will understand football so much better, because that's why Flores keeps saying we got to run one cohesive unit. It's not about the individuals. There was an article that came out this morning. I didn't even want to talk about that. But there was an article came out this morning where he was talking about how I'm not really a fan of stars on the team. You know, I really don't like that. You know, stars, because it's about them. I want guys where it's about the team. But one thing is, as much as people always talk about Brady and Gronk, right? One thing you've never heard from them guys themselves is me, me, me. Have you ever heard Brady's arrogance when it came to team? Does Brady ever come out there boasting about himself?
Nope. And it doesn't matter if he has to run the ball 30 times and he only passes it 10 times. So, all right, I won't get no stats this game, but we got to win.
He always gives the credit to his team. And people are like, yeah, he just being nice. No, because the team deserves the credit. Brady ain't no fool. Brady ain't crazy. Brady knows straight up that without the rest of these guys doing their job, I wouldn't be this good. And a part of me feel like Brady knows deep down inside, yeah, I put the work in and I make sure I minimize my mistakes, so I'm doing my part. But the rest of the world thinks I'm better than I am. Not to say I'm not good, but the rest of the world gives me an extra premium on that just because we win and I'm the quarterback, and everybody gives credit to the quarterback. But I know it belongs to this whole team, everybody I played with. Brady always say, you know, these MVPs is just really everybody who's been a part of. Breeze even says it. You know, me accomplishing this feat with passing yards or touchdowns or whatever. It's straight up, you know. He doesn't say, I want to give thanks to my team right now. Every team that I've been a part of. Those collective groups are the reasons why it happened. Because they know. But we got to sit here and listen to fans try to tell us what they're not even saying. No, it's just them. It's their skill. Oh, my gosh. I hate that, man. It gives a lot of good players in this league less value than they should have. And you wonder why some people ain't in the Hall of Fame. Truth be told, we might be able to argue the reason Zach ain't in the Hall of Fame yet is because we wanted to give so much credit to Marino. Or we wanted to give even more credit to Jason Taylor. These guys was playing as a unit, doing the best they could. That's why on the next stream, when we talk about the plays that happened yesterday, some of the plays that stood out to me from yesterday's practice, they said in the tweets, it said a specific guy rushed the line to the left really, really hard, and that allowed the linebacker to come free on a sack. But all people are going to see is that linebacker that came free on the sack instead of the scheme Flores ran to make that happen. And they made the tweet that way to try to show y'all the scheme. Sometimes you might have Christian Wilkins who's capable of getting back there, but your job ain't on this play ain't to get back there. Your job is to crash down on that left side. So when the DN on the left or the linebacker on the back left comes around you, he got a free rush to the quarterback. We gonna all glorify who made the sack, but Christian Wilkins did his job securing that whole left side, smashing down on it. Get used to schematic football, ladies and gentlemen, because until you get used to it, you ain't gonna understand this team for the future. You're not gonna understand it. You're not. Man, my bad. I forgot you was on.
In my opinion, what separates Zach Thomas from the other middle linebackers that we've had so far?
Mm-hmm.
He may not be as big as the other middle linebackers or as physical, but he has an IQ. He knew how to read defenses, and that people don't realize that when it comes to middle linebacker, if you don't he's the quarterback of the defense. That's why Ray Lewis was so successful, because Ray Lewis knew what you were thinking before you were thinking it. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, go this way, go that way, and the quarterback's like, oh crap, he's reading my defense, so he audibles. He's like, oh crap, oh go this way, go that way, because he knew everything about his defense opponent. You know, and it was so hard. It's like what I told you about the number one offensive line. If your team knows what you're doing, that's why it's so important to have a middle linebacker that can that has a high IQ that kind of reads the offense. Exactly. Lets them know, okay, he's going here, he's going there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I hope that this guy, Sam, turns out to be that guy, man. I hope he does. I really do.
But, all right, man, I'll let you go, and I appreciate,
No, I appreciate you calling in. And I appreciate when you call in every time, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good one, brother.
You too.
All right, man. See you.
Now, I know I just got a little kickback from Wedson, which I totally disagree. He said, watch Brady videos on social media. Look at his comments. He gloats. You just won't know it. Listen, I watch Brady all the time. I look at his social media all the time. Brady don't gloat about his own individual. Oh, you need it? Brady don't gloat about his own individual self as far as, oh, I'm the best quarterback and this and that, and this. No, Brady gloats in team success. He'll show you his rings. And I made a video about this a month ago or something. Because I was mad about it. I got mad at Brady. He said, he showed his hand with all his rings, and he said, do you know what my favorite one is? The next one. That ain't gloating about self. That's the embodiment of his team success. You got the wrong perspective on that. That's not gloating like, oh, he always gloats about himself. He don't gloat about himself. Oh, I'm this and that, and I'll do this and I'll do that. I watch Brady. I check all his social media. One second. My bad. Whoever just called, I missed it, man. Just getting off, had to catch up with Rashad Jones stuff. Is it true? We're about to find out, Dolphin Nation. We hope Rashad is okay, man. Taylor, Godchild, and Wilkins are going to be poetry. I think so too, Ron. I think it's going to be something beyond beautiful, man. Beyond beautiful. That's what I meant, TD. Oh, I know, yeah, but I don't see that as that ain't what I was talking about. I was talking about Brady. Brady doesn't gloat in self. He doesn't talk about how great he is versus the competition. He loathes about team success. You know what my favorite one is? The next one. That's not loathing in self. That's loathing in his team success. But Belichick don't play that over there. There is no me's, man. And we're going to talk about that later on another stream, his contract extension he just got this week. And how the Patriots were sneaky good in what they did in that contract extension. They were sneaky good on something. People think just because he got more money, no, it's how they did it, which is making the team actually have more money. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But it's your boy TD Fans Talk. I've been going long enough, man. No, why would I be mad? I ain't mad at all. This team is going to turn heads. You better know it, man. It's your boy TD from TD Fans Talk. I'll be back to y'all with another one. Peace, y'all. I'll see y'all soon. I got another call. Man, everybody killed.